Hello and welcome to BizTech with me, Na Oyokwoti. And as usual, we are more than poised to bring you major business news that trended during the week, as well as an interesting interview. Now, plastic eradication is a major global problem, and in Ghana, there's a record of 1.1 million plastic waste recorded yearly. However, a young Ghanaian entrepreneur by name Derek Safo is into the production of paper bags and eco-friendly products to help curb the menace. My colleague Ernestina Sewa Asante has the details.
The issue of plastic waste remains one of Ghana's major challenges. In the country, we generate about 1.1 million tons of plastic waste every year. Though government is trying its best to solve this growing menace, private sectors, including Deco Bags, have joined in the fight. Today on BizTech, we'll be speaking to the CEO of Deco Bags, Derek Safo, to tell us how best we can end this growing menace. Come with me as we explore this new venture. Hello, Derek Safo, and welcome to BizTech on GhanaWeb TV.
Thank you, and good afternoon.
Okay, so for first-timers who are now going to know your business, tell us what Deco Bags is all about.
Thank you very much, GhanaWeb and Business Tech, right?
BizTech.
BizTech, okay. So Deco Bag is basically a packaging company based in Accra, Ghana, with a mission to add value to products, local products, and replace single-use plastic for eco-friendly packaging, so that Ghana will be clean.
So you said well, eco-friendly. If you can throw more light on that for us.
So when we say eco-friendly, basically products that are not harmful to the environment or ecosystem. So Deco Bags, basically what we do is we do pure packaging with recycled paper material, and these materials are eco-friendly in the sense that, unlike plastic bags, when they end up on our streets or in our environment, it takes thousands of years to break down and sometimes never decompose. But recycled paper is from natural source, so when they end up on the floor, on our environment, with time they decompose. So they are eco-friendly, and this is a basic material we use in our production as a packaging company.
So tell us why you decided to venture into this particular business.
So the core bag actually started from an experience I had in 2015, June 3rd. So if you have heard of the twin disaster which happened in Circle, I happened to be there right before the incident. We were all trying to get into a bar's home. Fortunately for me and for some of us, we were able to move from the location. But a few hours after we left, we heard in the news that there has been flood and fire disaster at Kwame Nkrumah Circle, which cost over 200 people's lives. And so I followed up because I counted myself as fortunate to have lived the scene. But for those that never left and therefore suffered the fire and the flood disaster, we realized from research that gutters around that area was choked with single-use plastics. And as a result, when the rain came in, it flooded the area, and then unfortunately there was fire. And that's why a lot of people lost their lives. So as a business person, I thought of what can I do to mitigate this problem. And that's the reason why we set up the Deco Bags, to provide Ghanaians with alternative packaging materials to the single-use plastics, so that instead of going for single-use plastic that can come into the environment and pollute the environment, they can go for eco-friendly packages, basically carrier bags, and in using that, preserve our environments. So that's the reason why we started the Deco Bags.
So how long have you been in this business?
So officially we have been in business for 4 years. Yeah, but if you look at 2015 since we started, then we are looking at about 5 years. But when we started in 2015 down, it was more of advocacy, so more of social enterprise, where we go to campuses and educate people that they should switch from single-use plastics to eco-friendly packages. But we realized that constantly there was a need for people to looking for alternative, and we said, well, why don't we provide that alternative? And that's why we set the callbacks in 2018. And so officially about 4 years in business now.
How has business been so far?
Oh, by God's grace, business has been good. Yearly, we see growth from since we started the business officially in 2018 till now. We have been seeing growth every year, right? Sometimes it's almost like 100% growth. Every year it's almost 90 to 100% growth of what we did the previous year. So business has been growing, and the truth is, there are a lot of demand we can't even supply.
Checking out your works on your social media pages, I realized that you've got bigger contracts. How were they able to identify you?
So, not to lay out my strategies that I use in marketing, I would say most of it has been referral, right? So about 70% of our customers are women-based. Yeah. We serve a huge client base that is heavily based on women-led businesses, and so basically we serve them well, and they recommend us to other companies or other businesses that come in touch with us. And when they come in touch with us, we serve them well with the hope that they will refer us to other businesses in their network.
So how many people have you been able to train or employed since you started this business? Okay,
so if I'll get it right, we have trained, this business have trained over 100 people, individuals, with skills in packaging.
So aside from the paper bags, you make pouches, and what else?
So, like I said earlier on, we have products and we have services. So some of our products, generic paper bags, pouches, corrugated boxes, and then food packages. Then on the service side, we do procurement. So we procure packages for businesses, right? We have partners not only in Ghana but outside Ghana that provide different forms of packages. And so there are companies that need packages that might not necessarily be done here in Ghana, but we procure them outside through our partners for these companies. We also do packaging consultancy. So if you're a business and you're coming up and you don't know how to package your products, you come to us, we consult you and recommend kind of package that will suit your business products.
So tell us why we should choose paper bags over plastics.
So the reason why we choose paper bag over plastic is that paper bag has so many advantages over plastics. One is that it's eco-friendly, like I said earlier on. Paper bag, when left onto the environment, will soon decompose and be part of the soil, as compared to plastics. Plastics can be in the environment for thousands of years. It pollutes our environment, it chokes our gutters, and like what happened on 3rd June, causes flood. If it doesn't even choke your gutter, it finds its way into the ocean, and fishes see plastics as food. And when they consume them, we consume fishes as. So gradually, UN predicts that by 2050, if you don't change our attitude towards single-use plastics, we human beings will end up consuming plastics because we consume fishes. And then constantly in the news, fisher folks go to the sea, and all that constantly they come with is plastics, which is very appalling, right? So our business is tied to SDG goal 13, which is life below water, and what we seek to do with that is to provide eco-friendly packages, and in so doing, Ghanaians or the public limit their use of single-use plastic, and by so doing, plastic don't end up in our ocean. Yeah. One day we hope that Ghana will ban single-use plastics and switch to alternatives, so that we can achieve a clean Ghana. Yeah.
The conversation is getting very interesting, but then we'll have to take a very short break. When we come back, Mr. Safo will tell us who his target market is and how much the products cost.
powers and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
Welcome back from the break, and as you can see on the table, we've displayed some of the products decor bags are into. So, Mr. Safo, tell us, who are your target markets?
Okay, so decor bags basically serve food and hospitality industry. Those are key target markets. But secondly, we also service hotel and retail businesses, and then SME businesses that are into manufacturing for export and then local consumption. We also serve corporates and then e-commerce businesses. Yes.
So tell us about the products on display.
So basically these are paper packages for predominantly hospitality businesses, like people in restaurant business. So what you see here is a mailbox. So you know the ordinary styrofoam packs? Yeah. We know the consequences in using that, so we want to encourage businesses like what Eliza's restaurant does here to go for paper takeaway bowls. So same for this can be used for burger. It belongs to one of our customers who is on Hughes. This is a soup bowl.
A soup
bowl, yeah. So it can actually hold a soup or stew or whatever food you want to.
Most times I see chicken and other cookies in them.
Yeah, so you can use it to serve. I'll look at this like banku, rice ball, whatever. But it's made from crafts paper. Yeah. These are gifts bags. This is our regular thank you bags. We have different colors and shades of it. This is for one of our customers, Kuzos. They do food delivery service. These are more like what people call envelope type. Yeah. So this is a wine box. It's made with cotton. So individual want to give someone with a wine can get this kind of packages and then package their wine. This is basically a grade 1 paper bag, A4 size, for one of our customers. So then over here it's a food package. It's actually made for flour food, basically. Yeah.
Do you make the designs yourself?
Yeah, so we design in here and then we produce ourselves from scratch to the finished product is done by us.
I know our viewers will be wanting to purchase from you, so if you can give us the cost, how much does each product cost?
So basically what we do is, if it's an order from a customer, there are certain key things that goes into pricing. One, we have to know how many quantity you want to do, and then the choice of packaging itself, colors and all that. So for example, if I pick this, this is a lunch box. It can also serve as a burger box, right? So depending on how much you are ordering, it ranges from 1.5 and 1 cedi 50 pesos to even as 2 cedis, depending on the quantity you are doing, and then the number of colors, right? If I pick something like this, it's often for takeaway deliveries. It ranges from 1 cedi 20 pesos way to about even 2 cedis, depending on the quantity. One thing about prints and then packaging is that the volumes pushes the price down, and so the more you do as a business, you cut down costs per unit.
So if I want to draw somebody's face on this wine box, how much? Like first, can you do it, and then if yes, how much will it cost me?
Yeah, it's feasible, but like I'm saying, it based on the quantity, right? Quantity. What we do is that we serve B2B. We do business to business, so we encourage businesses to do more production to cut down costs. So even though we might not do one-on-one as with customized, that's why we have stuff like this. This is generic, so it has nothing on it. So a customer can buy just single one and then choose to brand it with an image or whatever you want to do it, which we can obviously do for them. But in an order, it has to be a lot to get a good price.
A lot is relative.
At least 500,000 plus.
Hey, you don't do 20, 30?
No, so those ones I'm saying, for that reason, that's why we do generics.
Okay.
So generics means plain without any custom on it. And with that one, if you just get a few, we can now brand for you.
People be asking, how lucrative is this business?
Well, packaging as a business in its own is very lucrative. It's predicted that by 2040, the whole packaging market will reach about 1.3 trillion US dollars, right? And currently the market stands around 16 billion US dollars currently. But you know what COVID did? COVID shut a lot of sitting restaurants and businesses. So most of these people relied on takeouts and deliveries. And the key thing they need in doing that is packaging. Yeah. So the market is huge and growing rapidly.
We want you to take us through the process in making paper bags.
Okay, basically, but the process of making paper bags, it's a lot. Well, let me walk you through the value chain a bit. So you need to have a reliable supplier of raw materials like the paper, glue, ropes, and all that goes into production. And then you have machineries that does the printing. For us at the moment, we have two ends. So we have a side where we do the finishing, and we have where we do production, where we use machines. Right? So, well, of course, design is part of the process. So you need to design whatever you want to produce as a package or as a paper bag, and then print, and then you finish them into the product itself. Yeah.
So for you, how do you get your raw materials for production?
So basically, we source our raw materials locally. We have local partners that produce recycled paper materials for us that we source from, and we have third parties as well that bring in what they call it, raw materials outside the country. Yeah.
For free or?
I mean, it's a business, so not for free. Of course, it's at a charge.
I know with every business, it's fraught with some challenges. So if you could share some challenges and then some heydays as well.
Yeah. So predominantly, challenge that I see doing business in general is cost of production. You know, Ghana, the economy is more of consumer driven. What that means is we consume more than we produce. So as a business, we are trying to change that. We want to encourage Ghanaians to consume more of local contents, locally produced stuff as a business. So, because if you produce and Ghanaians are not patronizing, it makes business difficult, right? And because Ghanaians are not producing a lot, most often we tend to fall on raw materials that are coming outside the country, right? Well, luckily there are some few other companies in our value chain that are trying to change that, and we hope they're able to get the capital and then the resource they need to expand so that raw materials, cost of production can come down. So the basic challenge in production has been cost of materials, because when cost of material is really high, you get me, it means cost of production goes high, and that affects the consumer or the customer, right? And so I know the government is trying to do something with 1D1F, which seeks to encourage Ghanaians to produce locally, and we hope that project goes on well, because if it goes on well, we have local manufacturers producing for people like us, and then we can produce at lesser cost for the consumer.
Did you hear that the finance minister is saying, or he said that government's payroll is full and that we should venture into entrepreneurship? What's your take on that?
From where he sits, I think he is right in saying that Ghana, right, have a lot of opportunities, in fact, for young people, right? For me, after service, I decided that I want to get into entrepreneurship and into business. It wasn't easy. it was really tough and challenging looking at our system. But I felt if I go on complaining that the system is difficult, the system is hard, and so I'm sitting down waiting for government to employ me, and then the government is saying there's no work in the system. You get me? At the end of the day, I will suffer because then I will not have something to live on, right? So I entered into business not only to create opportunity for myself, but also to create opportunity for other people, right? And I might want to also encourage other people who feel like entrepreneurship is their thing, because it's not for everybody though. But if that is for you, you get me, then go out and then do that, because in doing that you not only solve problem for yourself, you solve problem for other Ghanaians that might need employment.
So if you want to reach out to you, what are your social media handles?
So basically, you can find the callbacks online at thecallbacks.com, where you can request for orders and quotation. And then two, you can find us on social media at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at the callbacks. Simply, you can also reach us online on phone by calling 0547 499174, and that will come to me directly.
So we've been speaking to the Chief Executive Officer of GhanaWeb, Derek Safo. You've heard it all. He's saying never give up. If you applied for jobs and no company is calling you, you can venture into entrepreneurship. Like he said, yes, the road is a bit bumpy, but you can still make it. Also do well to follow GhanaWeb TV and tag BizTech. We'll reach out to you to also help you promote your business. I am Ernestina Sewa Asante. Over to you now, Oyo Kwote in the studio.
That was my colleague Ernestina with that great interview. We're moving on to Biz Headlines. Now moving on to our first story, which is on the energy sector. Chairperson Mines and Energy Commission of 8th Parliament, Samuel Atachian, has emphasized the need for competitive bidding towards power purchase agreements. His call comes on the back of a research paper conducted by energy economist Dr. Ishmael Aka and energy analyst Crispin Bobbio, indicating Ghana has signed 32 PPAs between 2011 and 2016. Speaking at a forum organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs on Wednesday, Atacha explained the absence of competitive bidding can shortchange the country during power purchase agreements, which can saddle it with debts.
The whole arrangement is a violation of the Public Procurement Act. If you look at it from the perspective that it was never open for people to come in and solve the problem, so we compare. The benefit of competitive bidding is that the ultimate beneficiary of the project has a way to compare, so that you will not be shortchanged. So anything that we don't compare, you have crisis. So in the absence of competitive bidding, and probably if you want to push where they say single source, and we'll have these kind of challenges. So it is imperative that when you even have an emergency situation, go for competitive bidding. Now you know, excuse me to say, an army of people who want to deliver the service.
On to our second story on trade. The Ghana Union of Traders is far advancing its plans to establish a Ghana Traders Bank that will specifically deal with the lifelong challenge of high interest rates that informal traders face, Dr. Joseph Obeng, president of the association, has said. The models for the establishment of this bank will transform the face of access to finance for our traders. We are in talks with the Trade Ministry, the Bank of Ghana, and several other stakeholders to ensure the smooth establishment of this bank, Dr. Joseph Obeng is quoted to have said. Now, over 90% of Ghana's employment chain is made up of people in the informal sector, but a major of them lack access to finance and credit facilities. For this reason, many of such persons have been left with no option than to rely on informal credit companies with mostly very unbearable incomes of up to 30% on their loans. Now, moving on to the oil and gas sector, a commercial court in Accra has in a ruling affirmed that the former energy minister, John Peter Amewu, acted within the law when directing two oil companies to unitize their oil fields. In 2019, Italian oil giant subsidiary of NI Ghana and Springfield Exploration and Production Limited were directed by the Energy Ministry to unitize the Sankofa and Afina oil fields. A review of the court's ruling cited by GhanaWeb dismissing an application by NI and Vito Upstream Ghana for a judicial review of the directive by the minister and said, a careful reading of Section 34(1) of the Petroleum Exploration Act, Act 919 of the year 2018, does not show that the Minister of Energy's directive violated the said provision of the law. The ruling, presided by Justice Emmanuel Kwesi Mensah on October 21, 2021, cited the motion paper to the application as incompetent as it failed to comply with provisions of Order 55, Rule 1 of the rules of the court. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has said available data shows that the small-scale mining industry accounted for more than 40% of the country's gold exports. According to him, the sector, when well sensitized, plays a critical role in making Ghana the leading producer of gold in Africa. Speaking at the launch of the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program on Monday, October 25, 2021, President Akufo-Addo acknowledged that the lives of several people, including women and children, depend on illegal mining. He said, small-scale mining must therefore be promoted and encouraged, and we will do all that is necessary to promote it for our collective benefit. What we cannot do and will not allow it to happen is to permit mining activities that threaten the environment which sustains our lives and the lives and livelihoods of generations yet unborn. Now on to our final story. The leader of government business in Parliament, Osei Mensah Bonsu, has announced that the finance minister will on November 17, 2021, present the 2022 budget before Parliament. He third sitting as a budget sitting, since after the presentation, they would be going on recess on December 17, 2021 for the Christmas and New Year break. He also revealed that some 58 bills have been advertised for consideration before the House. He said the House would not have enough time to consider all the bills before the budget presentation. Mensah Bonsu therefore urged the ministers and various committees to be very proactive in the advertised bills and begin to work towards them. So, when they present it before the House, MPs will deliberate on them expeditiously. That's it for this week's edition of BizTech on GhanaWeb TV. But log on to www.ghanaweb.com for more news stories. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV. Get interactive with us on all our social media handles. On Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, we are the GhanaWeb. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. My name is Na Oyokwote.
It's often said that a photo is worth 1,000 words, and memories are timeless treasures of the heart. In this edition of People and Places, my guest and I will take you back in time to experience some of these beautiful memories. We are at the oldest photo studio in Ghana, located in Jamestown in Accra. And this place has some of the most interesting photographs and memories you could ever think of. I have some wonderful people who would help us go through these photos and tell us the story and history behind the establishment of this place. I am Wanda Amihagan, and thank you for making time with us on this episode of People and Places. After the break, we'll meet our guests and get right into the gist. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. So our guest is Mrs. Kate Tamaklo. She's the granddaughter of J.K. Bruce Vanderpoy, the owner of this studio. And now she's in charge of running and manning the place to ensure that it's in good shape and available for you and I, to have access to it. So we are having a conversation with her, and thank you again for having us here. We have a wonderful thing.
Coming.
Great. Okay, so I just want to know how old this studio is.
We are in 2021, so Diogratia's studio is 98 now.
98.
Turning 99 in November and 100 next year.
Wow. This is way older than, it was established way before
Yes.
some of us were born.
Established in 1920.
And yet it still looks good.
Was
You're doing well with keeping the place,
Thank you.
I must say. Tell us a little about the studio. You've told us when it was established, but who established it?
It was established in 1922 by my grandfather, J.K. Bruce Vanderpoy.
Who was he?
My grandfather was a photographer. He started taking photos when he was 23.
Okay.
He had a passion for taking photographs of people, and then he was able to establish the photo studio in 1922 and called it Diogratia's Studio.
Okay.
Which means in Latin, thanks be to God.
Okay.
So he was finally able to establish it, which excited him. So he named it Diogratias, meaning thanks be to God.
Okay. But why did he name it Diogratias?
Well, I wasn't there, but my dad did tell me that he had a very difficult childhood. His parents were not very wealthy. So when he took to photography and he realized, he could afford to buy a camera and take pictures of people and earn a living, he was excited. So he decided to thank God by naming it Diogratias, which means thanks be to God.
Okay, and what was his motivation?
I think he admired what people wore, what he could see. It was like, I think I can take pictures of all these people and, look at them later. People would come in and he would share what he took or the experience he had at either a festival or some other place of interest.
Okay. Was your grandfather Ghanaian?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, then it was an interesting choice of a name. A Ghanaian naming his studio in Latin.
Yes, I don't know the history very well, but I think those days, Latin played a large role as well in the English language, so he must have picked it from there.
Okay.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Okay, but do you know when he took the first photo?
Ooh. 1922 is a long time ago. I've seen a lot of very old pictures in the archives. But which particular picture he took in that year will be difficult to tell.
Okay.
Yes, but I look at them and I look at their hairstyle and the clothes they wear, and I assume maybe amongst 100, one of them was the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did your grandfather stop taking pictures altogether? Do you know that?
I think that must have been in the late or early 80s.
Okay.
Yes, when his health, he wasn't too well.
Okay.
That is when I believe he stopped taking photographs, because going out, was not easy for him. Yeah.
And from that time, did he hand over to anybody?
Yes, he did hand over to my dad. My dad was the engraving manager at GTP. Okay. He was in charge of the print on the Dumas, what do you call it? The Dumas print. Yeah. He was in charge of that in the engraving department. So when
your dad's name is?
I.H. Bruce Vanderpoy.
Okay.
Isaac Hudson, Bruce Vanderpoy. So when his dad, when he was beginning to get much older and not too well, he asked his son, please, you need to come back to the studio and help me, or more or less take over the studio and continue what he started.
Okay.
Yes.
Was your dad the first son, or
no?
Why did he have to take over? And did your grandfather have any other children who helped with the studio?
Yes, my dad was sent abroad by Kwame Nkrumah to study photography.
Okay.
So obviously he knew what it was all about. So that's why he asked him in particular to come back. My uncle also studied photography, but he was younger. No, sorry, he was older. But I don't know, he just chose my dad to come in. But they did work together for some time.
Your uncle
yes,
and your
and
dad?
my dad, yes.
Okay, and where are they now?
My dad is 86 and he's doing fine.
Okay.
But unfortunately, my uncle passed on several years ago.
Okay, so your dad handed over to you?
Yes, unfortunately, he's suffering from glaucoma.
Okay.
So obviously he cannot see the lovely pictures anymore. So I am in charge at the moment. But if I'm able to describe the pictures very well, we still talk about them. Yeah.
Okay. And before we end and go through the photographs around here, it's been, you mentioned, over 90 years.
Exactly.
Do people still come here?
There are two categories of people that come here. You have those who are from the immediate surrounding. They still come in to take maybe their passport pictures, or maybe there's a festival happening around and they are all dressed up. So they come in and have their photograph taken. And then there are the tourists who come around, want to know about the studio, the history, so those are the other category of people who come here. Or there are students, foreign students who are working on their thesis, then they come in here, or research, and then we help them with that.
You mentioned people come here to take photographs from time to time.
Yes.
That means you still have photographers. Like who does the picture taking now?
Oh, there's a lady here we have, she's called Charity. She does very good. She does very well. They come in all dressed up and she takes their photograph. So
we have like studio photographs and passport pictures.
Yes. Okay. Some people also come in and ask her to go into the field. Maybe there are parties happening, engagements, then she goes with them.
To capture the moment.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So the studio has never really shut down.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
And talking about tourists, which kind of people come here more often? Are they foreigners, or do Ghanaians patronize this place a lot?
Not so much Ghanaians. Usually the Ghanaians would come with the foreigners because they have expressed interest. Yes. So I must say very few Ghanaians, come in here to have a look at the pictures. But when they do come in, they're very fascinated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of photos. I'm sure there are a lot more, in the archives. And we'll get into that a little after the break. But thank you for sharing the story about your grandfather and the establishment of this place. It's an interesting story.
Thank you.
All right. And so that's Mrs. Tamaklo telling us a little bit about this place. But there's more. So stay with us as we go for this quick break. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Nanama McBrown. I'm proud to be part of GhanaWeb Road Safety Campaign. Please, do the right thing. Save a life. Brim.
This is still People and Places. Thank you for staying with us. And now we are going to do a tour of the gallery. We just want to see some of the, historical pictures they have here. Each picture has a story and has a memory, and we are going into that. To help us do that, we have Kofi Yeboah here. He has been working here for a while, and he's also a historian. And so he'll help us do that. How are you, sir?
Very good.
Great. And so how long have you been here?
Okay, I think my outings to actually get pictures to complement the story I was doing on Kwame Nkrumah brought me a couple of years ago, and from that time on, I'm so much in love with these black and white pictures, the histories behind them, because trust me, this pictures actually chronicles the history, in fact, the modern history of the Gold Coast from 1922 into the 50s. Kwame Nkrumah's birth. In fact, there are pictures here. Kwame Nkrumah at 17 years old, Kwame Nkrumah at Chimota and all of that. So yes, it's fascinating, and from that time on, I've not been able to let it go.
So it means you've had some of the pictures here complement your
Absolutely,
your work.
Yes. I have a large book on Kwame Nkrumah called Kwame Nkrumah, the man who took the first piece of Britain's African empire. And most of the pictures here are from the studio.
Wow. Would have a look at that book. But for now, we just want to see what we have here.
Okay. So this is Opera Cinema, this is Orion Cinema. These were a chain of cinemas dotted around the country those times, Picona, some in the northern region, and all over. And so these are pictures that were taken at the time. I think until the advent of all this cheap, if you like, Panasonic's, VCR and stuff, all this, how do you call it, cinemas are now gone into obscurity. So this is Jamestown as it was probably in the 30s into the 40s. The slave trade was over. These were piers that were made to bring cocoa and palm oil from the hinterlands to the coast to be transported to Europe and all of that. So this is a beehive of activity. You still will see these piers, there today, though there is a, that sort of renovation going on. So this is what Jamestown looked like. This could be a regatta. This were the spectators, and I think you still have this raised, if you like, platform today, and that's what the picture looks like at the time. And all these ones are done. In fact, they are down now, and you only see a representation of this metallic structure. Now this is glamour, as we know. It's this how do you call it, shops at Mokola. This is what it looks like at the time. Now this is Macmillan, British Prime Minister, the wind of change in South African Parliament. He was here in the Gold Coast, and at the time you have this boats, if you like, boat riders or boatsmen who goes deep into the sea and brings in the passenger, carrying the passenger, because the ship wouldn't come so much to shore, that way it's going to shipwreck. And so it is going to park in the roads, and then these men are going to have an empty chair, hoist you on it and bring you. So this is Macmillan here at Jamestown. Okay? Now, so this is the old Parliament with Kwame Nkrumah's statue in front of it. Then you come to this one quickly. This is Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana's first beauty pageant, Madame Monica Amekwefia. In 1957, as part of the independence celebrations, there was the Miss Ghana Beauty Pageant.
In 1957?
Absolutely. And the one who won it was Madame Monica Amekwefia. And they always actually had their number 9, if you like, thing from her, because her number was number 9, she was an Ewe.
Oh, okay.
And so number 9 is not probably the thing about the 9th region on the, this is just Madame Amekwefia who wore the number, absolutely, she was Ewe. So Ghana's first beauty pageant was an Ewe. Okay, and then this is, what's the name? Holy Spirit, is it? This cathedral, Trinity Cathedral, that is some few minutes walk from here. This is what it looks like. You can see the beach in the background. Okay, this is a picture, this is a deeply relevant picture that was taken in 1948. Now, this is what you could call the nationalists of the Gold Coast, who were made to appear before what we call the Western Committee. The Western Committee was invited into the Gold Coast in 1948 by the British colonial administration to actually investigate the disturbances on 24 February 1948. They actually saw the death of what's the name, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Tipo, and all of that. And so these are the Gold Coast nationalists at the time, those who the colonial government actually seized as being the reason why that disturbance actually happened.
Okay.
Now, this is J.B. Dankwa. Okay, this is Kwame Nkrumah. Now, this is Akufo-Addo's dad, called Edward Akufo-Addo. So this is Akufo-Addo's uncle.
And then dad.
And this is Akufo-Addo's mom.
Oh,
and this is their lawyer called Dingle Foot. Dingle Foot is a British lawyer who came representing them. This is Akwa Jay. This is Thurston Kofi. This is Awuno, and all of that.
So
and
many great people in one photo.
Absolutely. So in this picture, our current president, this Mr. Vivian, and a businessman who was part of the Gold Coast, how do you call it, a nationalist effort and arrangement. And so this picture was taken before they appeared at the Western Committee. At the Western Committee, left Kwame Nkrumah with the baby and water in his hand, because they said until he arrived in the Gold Coast on the 24th of December 1947, everything was not what it was at the time. The nationalist zeal and fervor was not in there. So this is a historic picture that was taken before that. Our current president alone had about 3, if you like, relations in there. That's the mother who gave birth to him. That's his dad, and that's the great granduncle or something. Now, this picture was taken in
Independence Day.
1957, but not 6 March, because this picture was taken midnight. That's the 5th of March. That's what we call the polo grounds. And this picture is peculiar because Mr. Van der Poel was there, and he did it by himself, and it has not actually found its way probably on the internet.
So this is not
this
the picture
normal,
we see.
This is the picture, but with a different angle. See Kwame Nkrumah with the hand, you understand, and see how this Krobedu say, this Kujubu Tiu, and then this
so he was there to witness it himself.
Yes, he was there. Yes, he was there himself. Yes.
Great.
So forget about this. How do you call it? The story on the ex-servicemen's program that actually brought the Western Committee in. We are just told by Madame that her father happened to be a friend of J.B. Dankwa. And so when this happened, J.B. Dankwa immediately called in the studio.
J.K. Bruce was a friend of J.B.
Yes. And J.K. Bruce was on the spot at the crossroads where there was blood in the sand. Apparently, Imre, the police superintendent, has shot into this crowd that were demonstrating peacefully to see how they call it, the governor. He must
have been very brave then.
Absolutely. So we are told he actually came into the studio to pick pictures and any evidence he could find to actually help their case before the Western Committee. And this is the man who did all of this, who actually gave us the opportunity of the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and what it says with Gold Coast modernity. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And that's Auntie Kate's dad. That's Mr. Isaac Hudson Van der Poel, who continues this legacy. And so from here, you're going to see pictures that actually, chronicle.
Just before you go on, I see a younger version of him.
Yes.
Was this?
I think when he's he might have been in Germany, because he did a photographic program in Germany sponsored by Kwame Nkrumah. So that picture might have been taken in Germany. And so yes, you're going to find these pictures that will give us a certain degree of historical chronology of the Gold Coast. It was not all that people think it was. It was a society of, if you like, men and women who knew what time it is or what time it was within that time frame. And so at the time, what it was is that photography was a big deal. And so if you find someone taking pictures, what it means that the person is well-to-do. And photography was centered here on the coast. And so it could have been difficult for Mr. Van der Poel to go into Hinterland, probably Kumasi, the northern region, and take pictures and stuff. And so most of these pictures are spelling what it was with the thing of influence and big manism and that sort of thing. So you're going to see Red Spots band, you're going to see E.T. Menson's band and all of that. And I'm telling you, at the time, this was privilege. Okay, now this is Kwame Nkrumah again at Achimota, and the year is 1929. And this is young Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah, that's a rare photo.
Absolutely, yes. And so Bruce Van der Poel was at Achimota, probably the official photographer of Achimota School, and he was able to see Kwame Nkrumah when he came to Achimota very new, when he was about 17 years old, freshly fetched from the forest of Nkrofo, throughout his time and becoming prime minister, coming back. Now look at this picture over there with the rest of the, how do you call it, Ghanaian statesmen. Very young man. And so this man saw Kwame Nkrumah like this. In fact, I have a picture of him in this Ntoma stuff. He saw Kwame Nkrumah this way, and then this guy was in the States for 10 years, was in the UK for 12 years, came back, and this man was still taking photos. So you can imagine, from one end to the other. And I believe in 1972 when Kwame Nkrumah died, J.K. Bruce Van Der Poel was still alive. Yeah. Okay, so these are musical bands. This is a picture of Akwaje. Akwaje reputed to be the man who actually gave the idea about Kwame Nkrumah coming in. This is a picture of probably some colonial officials or some members of the Asian community, which was very huge here in the Gold Coast and all of that. This is the Jamestown chief called Nia Bebiu. Okay, this could be some society brothers and all of that. So, and this is the chief of how do you call it? This is again Mancha Bebiu with colonial authorities. I can see Governor Hutchinson, who was the governor of the British governor of the Gold Coast some time ago. And then you have this beautiful background that most pictures were taken against, like this little girl. This girl sat on this very chair and took this picture. So the chair is still here. It could be in the 30s or something. And this could be the daughter of some colonial official somewhere. You understand? This is a picture that was taken in someone's home, probably a certain ruling family. And then
I assume this chair is also as old as
exactly. These are all historical pieces that shouldn't be allowed to actually pass under the carpet that way. And you have some secret societies, like this is the Independent Order of Good Templars. Yes, taken in the 30s. This is a girls' guide sort of group. And then there's a famous picture of a judge called Manu Plange. Manu Plange was, I think, a justice of the Supreme Court. There's a picture of a family. Recently, some people are coming in, they are able to identify their forebears within their fathers and their mothers are all in this picture. And that sort of thing. So this studio is speaking loudly, a language that you'll not be able to hear until those who have the nexus comes in. People are coming in, they're telling you, please, this is my grandmother, this is my grandfather, and all of that. I'm holding this how they call it, a collage, because I wanted to show you JB Dankwa. So JB Dankwa was in the studio. This is him fully in his loyalty. Yes, he's a friend to the founder of the studio, J.K. Bruce. So he was here with these pictures were taken in the studio. That's him. Yes, this one probably outside. Yes, in his heyday. Yeah, and what it is that he was a good friend to the old man, and so that was an opportunity for the old man to explore, get to places that he wouldn't have been able to get to without that sort of connection. So yes.
What would you tell me are some of the biggest events that J.K. Bruce covered?
5th March 1957, Polo Grounds. The other one is the visit of the Queen in the 60s. You understand? Another one could be, how do you call it, the coming in of the British Prime Minister. What I have shown you before we got to this place, and many if you like, occasions that we've not been able to
capture.
Not only capture, but discover. Because like Auntie Kate is telling you, these pictures were taken on glass plates.
Okay, so what exactly does it mean to capture pictures on a glass plate? Okay,
yes, so this is what a glass plate looks like. And so glass plates probably was the beginning of the processing that is going to give you the picture it should give you. And so this is a picture that is printed and is in this studio. And so I'd like you to see this picture. And so this is the Kolebu laundry. And so look at it. So this is what it is. This is the negative, if you like, but we call it glass plate. We're not calling it film like it used to in the 90s into the 2000s. And so this is a glass plate. That is the picture that is printed over there.
And that's the image of?
Yes.
Of which facility?
This is what we call the Kolebu laundry, and I think it's still present. Yes. So the picture we'll get on this one. Then after the processes, you get it that way. And so we came to meet what you call the negatives that could be rolled into your pocket or into a little receptacle. But this one is this way, stern and hard as anything.
Okay, so there was this one before there was a film.
Absolutely, yes. Today they are all out of use. And so this is where, if you like, the exposure or the processes that is going to lead to the final prints are done on the glass plate.
So this is the machine.
Absolutely, this is the machine that was used to do the exposure. And I think with some other processes in the dark room, then ultimately you're going to get your black and white picture the way it is today. So yes, the Dio Gratias is hugely, if you like, a repository of not only ancient history, but modern history, modern Gold Coast history, and I think we should not lose sight of
you
that.
mentioned a number of big events J.K. Bruce covered.
Yes.
But did he happen to be at any event when the revolution was happening?
I think his son did. Auntie Kate's dad, Isaac Hudson, did. Yes. We have seen pictures of President Rawlings and Carline, all of that, and so that could be the subject matter of a different day. Yes. So this is the Queen's visit here in the Gold Coast, and again, J.K. Bruce Vanapper was there, you know, exposing how they call it, pictures for the benefit, yes, for the benefit of us today. These are beautiful pictures of probably Ghanaian maidens. Recently, this headgear or headwear became a subject of scrutiny. We are all like, how did this one come about? The thing looks like a coconut husk saw, but somehow along the line,
or a mushroom.
Yes, we are able to learn this is a combination and overuse, if you like, over time, putting together of hairs and creams in them and stuff like that. They get that one.
I see.
So the women of the times will wear this one before they are seen as, if you like, as modern as they could be. There is another picture that Auntie Kate keeps on, if you like, narrating to us about this British soldier, the first Ghanaian man to be commissioned into the British Army. And this picture was here. The daughters came around and immediately got it. They said, this is me, and this is my dad. And so that's the fascination this studio actually gives. This is Kwame Nkrumah, the height of his powers. And you see Krobo Edusei, you see Afruk Bedi, the Minister of Finance, and all of them. Krobo Edusei at the time was the Minister of Agric. And so you see, I think, a minister without portfolios. So these are Cocoa and that sort of thing. Yes, this the boxing fraternity. Yes, this is what we call the Standfast Sports Association. That was established in 1947. I think it's out of style and fashion. And so now this is Stanley Matthews, a renowned British footballer who visited, I believe, the National Sports Council at the time. Now this picture is very historical. Why is it so? This picture might have predated independence 1957 and all of that, because you find Governor Hutchinson and all of them here. You understand? This is probably the Joint Provincial Council of whatever it is, or what it was, if you like, a mixture of colonial administrators and Gold Coast representative ruling the Gold Coast. So immediately you see J.B. Dankwa. Where are you? This is J.B. Dankwa. So J.B. Dankwa was
at
part
the
of,
back
exactly,
there.
yes. He was a Gold Coast elite. He was a lawyer. He was looked up to when matters of Gold Coast actually services and stuff like that. And so this picture is immensely relevant and deeply historical. And then again, this is a businessman. I'm told, is it Pambros? Leventis, I think they are Greeks. Okay, so this is a chief. This is the Minister of Finance, Agbeli Bedema. This is the French.
Shatta Wale gains freedom, at least for now. The man who is overdosed with music has been granted bail after spending a week in remand. Medical brandished a gun and the police saw that to be too risky. They arrested him, sent him to court, he was remanded, and now he's been granted bail. What does this mean to the arts and entertainment industry? We are seated for a riveting discussion. I am Benefo Boabin Abrantipa, and this is Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV. Thanks for joining us. It's Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV. The show is sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Cheesy Pizza has all you want, from juicy smoothies, jollof, fried rice, spag and meatballs. We have great news for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you the McCheesy combo every Monday and Thursday. It's only 49 cedis. You get one small pizza, fries and chicken, one cola drink at all branches. Tuesdays are Super Tuesdays at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call 026-41-33397 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. My guests are seated. Black Pepper, the man, he calls himself the Mystic Mike whenever he appears on Moons and Cuddle, because he's so romantic. Chairman is a mystic. But Oba has here, Otubomb into a Black Pepper, blackpepper.com. Black.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Many thanks for having me.
Everything cool.
We on the grind.
Nice one. Nice one. Nana Aredu is with oneplayafrica.com. Nana Akwaba. Be fine. Nana James Bond. All right, so Amabroni is on standby with the tidbits, we call it Nkomo.
Oyamu otu mi o Amabroni and I can say Nyankopon na ye mobo eja kote hu Shatawale mobo one don one man 100,000 Ghana cedis bill so onko fie na asem de ye nkan wie sanso na ye rapper medical ai court nso ama na ye 100,000 Ghana cedis bill se man kofo kan se we dey atadi foruwa Pelama Kafui, and I watch it then. You say, Yabe, and I have some of course entertainment industry. I have one with the Abasum to the Mayan Chakra. You try and run your corina. You found Besum. Ah, Nenny just say that sorry. I was at a wally walk. I saw watching on one bed, two just and one bonitio bin a journey a damn party time. Now you will find maybe in dear Buris. I will carry and cania. Wabachero, let already no to money ni PA and an adobe ganjin deportee. 1 week remand, Uncle for what day markers, and say the waba. Now, quarter to Nassam, watch him. They said the Bema a year bill, and 100,000 Ghana cedis bill. One call, now somebody they came with because you are kind. They said their motherfuckers, as a celebrity, they want to mean dear Godun, can be free, love the brad and Paragusi was say IGP, a better when you swan casa. Now somebody they buy them could be brach and but Satawale know that Uncle phone, you'll be on an tomb, celebrities in the watch. A bit more patcho and a fish at a wale pamucho, a year budget autonome, a year catcher, cover baby patcho. The bidding so they were so baby as a satawale pa or casa too much. In that by any who to say be a many chromantis and I would yet din one for dinner, sir. Nay, a black rasta. I want him a black rasta and satawale in term than I know keep. Also, then I may buy a nege. Satawala watching the end black rasta no to boss a satawale question. Sana yo can send me sadness to bend your dating. And so obun some tower nuribi drags yo ye nim. But black chima on the time you're in a hotel no fear any first radio station or Satawale Becca so on no quan a year one money unity. Beccan in some poto, but Satawale if we say we ask a near round also a say, come on, actually. So watching to so black and quite a fat chain at Cizao Yase, Nihun Kususho, but some day I found Cotunche. Go for Acasa Afahum. Nayakasa workers say, no, didn't to make a Kwame A plus, and your chairman Satawale. Yani Pabayana way. Satawale and Tio Jan and now soon, and Nuntina a prophet, a most prophet of doom. But the moon was a moon, Papa, was a most no be way, or be bobo with you. Accidents and no quantum, or send them Satawale so. It is a this as our folk, October 18. Arabs were both Satawale Tuna were winning, as I say, some no so didn't go trap Bankum Kakra. They said, or Chema Satawale, why a leader and Cassania, why a idiot. They said, as often when you had the whole to mean Banam can't say me and vessel be found with you. Now, Satawale, a woman, a bill or coffee. So, say 100,000 Ghana. Yes, the same layer son can't 1 billion. The big woman Casabang over Chema. Tatawale de 100,000 de say as odunum koko of echi he obenye binti we de nye skebia na sata wo yi ne na video bi betu dwa no say oh God is alive ni yakopon osom no no tiase na den atamfo na muka so de no kwakotume na eye de na de ende wo say de wanya bill Tatawale wo release o ma wo be kaya ye medical so eyi IGP ne nkrofo ekwache ni so o social media no gambi wo so nukwa ga no register no de betu dwa na eja fast dan parent the boys wo kwa na wo kwatam no na eja one so what no quarry man this is medical so on and bill 100,000 Ghana cedis na sankwofo ebien wa onim se eyi asem yi bai fela makafi abo na aboso odini kunu echi eno onam ha zenze media for say den ade na mutwa na ede na asem na aba na media for munjira baby fela makafi asem yi bai na kofa kase o fela na nipa be ya na waye for better for us what shrodo obia na watare ni kunu hu akon hwehwe mta hu se won na wa chele ni ade nti se na wo se na ya won ni tutu kwan mu twitwa pictures se na ne hu kwan hu chim na oboa na wo de wa che se wo yo obia pankasa na yes Tatawale deportee na dope any medical where na wo kode efiasi wo ba yi ne cleansing e chin asen man so eyi then times now eyi slaves no woni na wo so ho na wo kopo no na eja se minim se wo kohoro wo hu se ye traditional ye nche dante ase but woni na akohoro ho minim se wo ahohoro ho se na be ya prison ho wori nkobia ba asem ne de egusu wo ho no be embassy we court wo be san so atena so na ne ekobia wo de atodan se ye de ni di echi se ne be kobia ma broni na adan ye do abesom na ye to aso de ase eyi wendi se akasa Ghana wake up an o se nka modadwen ne anka ayanka wasay yanka wa pro na nka wanye nanso mo cosmo obai na muso o ma ne 3 days obetwam obese odi replace e boni na mo kaka na ho semboni se mu haters ni na mo baba ye na tanfo mo na mo kasa ne obetwam na obeye se ni when they say chire mo ofte se na yakopon ehia na say on nam levels ni se na obai na obai come to stay hits are hits then na no papa be na mo pa eye when they share fam collabo ni na waye njo se mo dadwen na nka wasay na wa pro but ma mo de mo ni behwe bi okoso anti say nye na adwo to besa asang na echi kwa ne so okonini ene hina na eko ye actress mata nkoma wakasa ayo din sem bia tuja we dia koma ye ne colleague celebrities wo kroma o se sebi na asem no kwa npo de auto sebi sedin o se celebrities am wo krom ha mo yiyi mo hu aze mo yi mo hu kakra yiyi ho ye mo de no mo adwinsa mo adwimu ndo ene na eye strong man be kasa wa adwinsa ketekete te say queens aden na celebrities ya mo wo kroma se de na mo pe live sinti no da se ne yakoyi ne hu no da se ni e video bia betu dwa na say ense na emfatani na to say mo celebrities mo nim say mo followers YouTube fu di mo achi zara ya mo ye nyansa bia nim nti say wonim say celebrity wo krom ha say na say wudi sa adwuma na mata komba say min kan kire o say wa adwin mu ndo say to aso ye nyumtu ni miss view no so akasa wa kire ne ope we bi say ama bodi ni wa kire ne ope ne kasa ben ai obia ba obere ma obia ne bere ma say obetena say okaso we ye ne mani je hu ni bi we de minya na me ne betalan miss view chema ono de ope obere ma o ware enya fe no ba be show no person ka say we siniti as de one say miss bin so ware so so perbo obarma no o ware chin no o say we ye koko tuntum o chocolate ne de enche dan fa ne ho but God fearing kakra ai u suban ye fine na wo ware nko ade a ene obetumi abana mama wakeka ne amesie ni aya actor Mikio say be kudu afene Master Richard okay sa series taxi driver I on Samajete Fiotiti na sa series e twem say na nzenfo na mobile de munim sa series na ye kan but taxi driver unim say hu sensem bia aba betu dwa bebre Samajete Fiotiti be kire ma wanchia ne ye ti benzene ne ya ne ho achi ne nyina mo amuka say na se na nka wo ye utwa taxi driver na wo chia na taska ni na ye na wantumi ensef na fe de ho achi but Master Richard nso kire ma that time no watch episode back bia na o 35 cedis ochile ma that time kan poset na beto ala so beto ho na do kwa kodidi nti aya asam na mo kan de nche da ntwa kwam ko that time se na watch am se am ye series na mo twa movie watch am na enye sa enet amanfo no meya adwin sa ya mpempi krom ha se so bia no berema wo ware na nko bisa so da be na mo bewo but amanfo kire ma awo na mo kan sa na nda fam kwawo eya actress na mama brown magazine ami ono no akasa o chema ono tama na opeyefo na wo ba no den na wanye doctors be na wehu mpa be na wambo ko si say be your pay nsene no onenam ya hospital ni adi ne awodim ai be ka se hu ai owuhuru mu 6 times ai owuhuru ene de be pe doctors na hu se na wo yefa ansa na yakopon cha de oye na dom na eja o ma ne baby ahun se ne ba nso fine ai akọ ni Instagram abe hu ne se on ne baby te se wo tutu kwan ni pictures ni adi nti o kire ma ai ase kro ma se so bia bi nwo ya na mo kaka se o da be na be anko obetumi awo anko nwoye ndi sa anko mo na mudi no chema kana fo munse samusuba na enye Eye patapa, I one corner hit maker, chima, aye chrome has say am one. Aye any colleagues musicians, including a yes sakodi. Sana ya mutu nyoma na moka akawambo branka patapa na be perform won ye yase. Sa asem na ya moka na mutu twira se onu de nkani pan wo kan kwan ka won fa ne kan so onu no no je ne hudi so obo ne homode na o sell Ghana to the world. Sa asem na ya moka kana ya ni colleagues di na tem na as a punchline bi na be say wo ka bi na say wo de brand ase no. Sa asem na mo ye ne amane lose ambassadorial deal. Ne brand no masan so atane brand nti brand a wa sign nim fifiri so be create no kofo krampo sesel no osan so chema ye na ebusuafo kra what is ansem na ya kofo kan obi anka wa ware de na enuonyam bo no hu se onu so wa ebusuan tada na ya kofo emfa ni di manesa o chema deals be no lusu ye nti sa ma mo ye san na mo flese bu ya mo di egoro se na be ya mo di be hye mo line bi na kofo asere no sa de ni don fa ni easy kra ma woni se patapa ototo bia ma te se akode yiri trace kra to be man so say the onu say what way so wo hoy say ya amrado wa ma na warning say akode wa ma na warning orient na se enye ntwa han na numtini bi efa na nim embe ye fem bonsen fufuru mu na efi odon so akasa obeka say me be atwam na me betu wia so yen sister fia so say wo ba no ho na also pese we ye brand we pese promoting am be on Instagram we nje kwa na $5,000 scan bi wo man kasa say me betu dia man for say hey efia wo kasa $5,000 to ko hu hina ko na betu $5,000 nse fa be post ba me ensem no betu dan ko fu chema ayo sa influencers na mo celebrities wo je skapudu ansa na wo promoting ama nti e bia betumi ayampa but if you do about be church nse mo say se na asem no de tu dwan ko fu anti asesa na fe de wo kaka kan sensen fa no o so no de oyo so o ti asem ase so wo ye brand na wo ba na o hwe hu modern boss e bia wo ye ma wo industry ni ma che mu ye dra onu se ma be charge but ne bo no kra wo betumi atena ase na kasa so if sister fia we dey o skate dey mu ade obetumi abrasa kakra o ye ni pop beti ase nti sa asem na ode betu dwan nkofo bebre ansa dan ase nti se dey fia odo edi nchire maba na ansa na mabeso so mo manfa nkomo we ntwato eye mu na for real and hadia for real say what I make it no hu ni pa kwa me di chire hadia sa yo tete won from nkofo so sister dey ni voice cry oni voice na enye dey na fa he ne kosi so oni don teach you mo forget voice na swag I di bonyom ye di ko international ye di gina stage dey ane dey A1 mo check ne so check his style no haja for reasons mo nja kakra no nti also to me ko ni inbox obekọ na obi asene ne message hajia wo voice ni metie wo voice ma me hu mo nyina sorry ai ngo se onya sa compliment ni nti sa nyama na mo kare do hu yo na ga odin se beto nyanko se uzi no yende yenshada ni but amafuchema haja me kwa media dance haja abone ho modern music video be na haja ntwa mamuye quality music video wa wo hwe won be collaboration ni EP a o say here to stay na say yo de abe won tinyom na ekoso na ja wa pebi na weti haja for reach ma mu na so mu ni voice a o de wa ate but swag ne de obi atumi nje finisem ene mo premier ai na o twinsam na ekoso entertainment da tunu nsem hihye ni na me de abrem ni nyina ase na wanti ase ya kire mu nti da ase ne besan so echi anti abanspa no abegyafo mu nsom na ento asomaye alaboni akram.
Thanks, Amabroni, for the segment Tidbits and Komo. For more of these stories, visit our website www.GhanaWeb.com. Let me begin with Mystic Mike. Nana, Mystic, yeah. Which story would you want to touch on?
I'd love to look at Black Rasta's, some would say he seems to have been in a happy mood with Shatawale's incarceration. And I find that quite troubling because Black Rasta would have us believe that he's a very reflective person. He's a very spiritual person. And when he left HSFM or when he parted ways with HSFM during that period, I'm someone, or you could say I'm a Black Rasta fan. Not fan, but someone who monitors him pretty closely.
Okay.
And I remember that within that period, he was in a very reflective mode. Even the music he released within that period spoke to faith, spoke to spirituality themes. And aside that, even on his show, there's a period for the Nyabingi drums and Nyabingi songs, and his other things, praising God and Jah, as it were. So if your brother has been incarcerated, Is this the time to go about saying that he's a junkie, he deserves to be jailed, he deserves to suffer the consequences of his actions? I reckon that this was not the time, especially for one who preaches. Because on the show, virtually what Rasta does is that he assumes the role of being the custodian of what is right and chastising the powers that be. So, yes, he has a history with Black Rasta, he has a history with Shatta Wale. According to him, Wale called on him, he supported Wale in the past, and then Wale neglected him, or forgot, or declined to show appreciation. But we must strive to be of our better selves. And so when I started hearing his pronouncements upon Wale's, stint in prison, I found that he was not leaving the preachers that he had been preaching on his daily shows.
You expected him to pretend?
I expected him to have admonished Wale, to have told him that we warned you that if you continue on the path for which you were on, it will lead you in a very difficult place. But then I hope that you have picked the lessons and that when you come out, it will reflect in your dealings. That's what I expected of someone as a bigger brother, because he's older than Wale. Black is 40-something, and Wale, as we know, is 37. So this is the opportunity to look, as a big brother, I've been warning you, now you've seen where you've landed. When you come out of this, pick the lessons and don't repeat the same mistakes. Not to be jeering, not to be mocking him, not to be laughing at him that he's a junkie, he's whatever it was. Shatta being a junkie is not Black who is the first person to make mention of this. Other sources have mentioned it.
Okay. Nana, I'm into you. Nana was sweet.
Okay, so I think I would like to touch on Mark Brown issue of washing
her womb.
I think during the week I also read a piece from Nana Kofi Asienhene, and in that small write-up on Facebook on his wall, he was saying that people should write below his post they are failures, so that others will see that it's not all rosy, it's not all glamorous, it's not all beautiful everywhere. So I went through the comments and I saw that a lot of people are tired of the motivational quotes. I'm on for bread, it will be well. Rainy day is coming. Keep hope alive, keep going, we're quite tired. So when I read the article that my Brown openly said that she had to wash her womb 6 times to get a baby, and explained that society puts pressure on women who are aging, I was happy, because Ebema said we are also circle name hope. So it's not go through the fact that and even the celebrities who come on social media, on TV, portraying, they put their children everywhere and they are laughing, they are happy. Some of them go through headache before they get the child. So I was happy that she was able to communicate, quote unquote, the headache that she had to go through to get a baby. So I like it. It's about time that this world called social media, people begin to manage their expectations. The sad part is when we say manage the thing, it will be someone's first time of coming onto some of the platforms, maybe Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So they're managing on one side, and to whom a certain post by a celebrity, then he or she thinks that, that is the norm. So I'm happy she shared her
experience.
Yes, her story. Hopefully it will encourage people to know that Charlie Obia could be And then let me quickly touch on the issue of A+.
Okay.
And the Shatta Wale false prophets thing. It's good that yes, a certain action has led to what the IGP or the police service are trying to do by telling prophets that if you prophesy, you have to bring your evidence. In public, you have to show your evidence. It's good. But you see, it's good to praise. but it's also good to correct, even if the timing is wrong. Because the issues surrounding what Shatta did is delicate, and he is a very delicate figure in society. He stands as one of the biggest, not just music influencers in Ghana. So when issues like that come up, we have to understand. You have to weigh the issues, the conversations. To me, yes, Wale did what he did, not to fight false prophets. Because, last week I said it on the show, that would have been the first attempt to make it public. Say, the guy said I was going to die, you guys didn't do anything to him. I want to stop false prophets or false prophecy. So this is what I'm going to do, A, B, C, D. He didn't do that. That's what I say. We are clapping for a hero because he went through the mill and he's out successfully. In doing that, we should also let the young people know that you don't have to take issues or matters into your own hand. Right, I think society, any fans, and I say society in general, fought for this fight of false prophets, not Wale. Because people were tired. People were making references from the Ebony time to all the things that people have done, and they were telling the police, then you have to go after the prophets as well. So it's society that responded to the thing. What am I saying? Let's manage the issues well. And yes, sir, because if his friends saw that he was fighting false prophet, they would have channeled their energy on the socials.
Still on this Wale issue, the prophet did mention that he would die on his birthday.
No, 18th. His birthday was 17th.
So a day after the birthday. Yeah. Okay. So and then when he orchestrated the shooting incident, he said it was in response to that, to help end it. Yeah. Now, Wale has always been one who...
Did he say to help end it? Or it was a response to
it was a response to the prophet.
Not to help end it.
Well, the hashtag, it came with a hashtag, end false prophecy. You see, the post had a red artwork.
Yes.
End false prophecy. So if he says, his statement is not out of order.
Post and Nana Dope also made a post, because we hadn't heard from Wale then.
Yeah.
Then he, when he saw that things were getting serious, then he came with his episode. That, and when he made a declaration about my death, the Ghana police, you didn't see, so I'm on the run and all that. So to him, he said, I'm going to preserve my life till whatever. So to him, it was a response to that. But the thing is, Wale has always been a police person. Wale, for him, if you wrong him, he takes you to the police people. He took Bulldog to the police people. He took Mr. Logic to the police people. Anybody who comes in conflict with Wale, he is the first person to take you to the police. It is this time, thanks to Ekufu Dampari's regime, that the police have now come for him.
No, they didn't go for him.
Oh, really? They didn't. He went there.
He said if the
he turned himself in.
He said if the police
turned himself in.
The police said they were on the hand for Wale. They had gone to his home.
Yeah, because of
they were not fighting him.
Because of the stance.
They wanted him.
Yes.
The police wanted him.
They didn't want him because of the stance.
They wanted to verify
the fact
whether
that
he's been shot or not.
Not because
they did not go to arrest him. There's a difference.
I'm saying that the issue is that the guy created a certain a stance that he has been shot, or not him, his colleagues, his workers, and so the police felt like it was getting out of hand. So then, if you've been shot, then there has to be an investigation to what happened.
Sure.
So they're looking for him to verify.
Of course.
So it's not.
No, it's not like they wanted to arrest him.
So that's he said if the man of God has if they invited the man of God, then he was also turning himself in.
Yeah.
That's what he did. But I'm saying that society also. Then okay, I didn't see the part where he did a hashtag of the false prophet. I didn't see it. I didn't. And if he did, then it means that his colleagues and everybody around him, quote unquote, probably failed him. You understand? Because if they saw that he was trying to do a certain campaign and they didn't champion that, but they decided to champion free Shatta Wale, then there was a mess within the communication. Because he, as a leader, was trying to fight a certain thing. and he made it public.
Even
According to what I haven't seen,
even that's self-serving. You see,
according to what you said, I haven't seen this. I cannot confirm.
Oh, okay.
So according to what you just said, that he made a hashtag saying "Stop False Prophet." So then his colleagues, because what I also saw around was that society, people were also tired of the false prophets. People were tired that every time these guys come on to do what they do and they become popular, you guys, the police service, you don't do anything. So if Wale is with you guys, then you have to also go to these prophets and take some action.
Sure.
That's what I saw.
Okay.
You get it? So that's what I did. That's why I was telling A+ that no, let's also make it clear that society also played a role.
All right.
What I said, in stopping this whole false prophet. But if he made the hashtag, then his colleagues, they fired wrong.
Okay. That's another area doing is with oneplayafrica.com. Earlier you heard the Mystic Mike Black Pepper. We take a break. When we return, we'll look at the implications of Shatta Wale's and Medical's arrest, remand, and the bill on the creative arts industry. Last time we focused on Shatta Wale. It was after that after the show that we noticed that Medical to a police for action. So we'll be back to discuss that. Don't go away. It's Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects and others right here on GhanaWeb TV.
Welcome back. It's Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV. The name is Abrantepa. Now, let's talk about the Shatta Wale issue. Of course, before we went on the break, we were talking about that. It's time to expand it. This is a running story. I'm sure, a number of people know about this story. And so we will not be going back and forth to the background. But of course, Shatta Wale has now been granted bail. Medical has also been granted bail. If Shatta Wale's accomplices, Dipoti, Ganji, and then Nanadope have all been granted bail. Now, we've been talking to Shatta Wale's lawyer, one of his lawyers, and he tells us that, indeed, there is a new IGP in town, so they've given their client a wise counsel.
As you are aware, the charges that have been leveled against him, he denied the charges and he pleaded not guilty to it. So as it stands now, he is guilty until, he is innocent until he is proven guilty in accordance with law. Now, aside that, going forward, of course, we have advised them to measure his utterances. You know, in this modern dispensation, when we have a new IGP in town, you would have to make sure that your attitude, your utterances, the way you carry yourself about, is in line with the laws of the country. Gone are the days where people felt that things could be taken for granted, and for that matter, they could do just whatever they felt like. But then we've given him wise counsel. We've told him to comport himself. Once the matter is in court, we've advised him not to grant any interviews and be speaking to the matter. He should allow the full rigors of the law to be tested. And if indeed it comes out that what the prosecution has leveled against him would not be proven beyond reasonable doubt, of course, he will walk.
Okay. What would you say about this case? Is this an easy case for you as you consider? Is it going to be a tough one? What do you see this case as so far with what's happened in court and all of that? Does this come to you as a tough case?
Oh, it's not within my ethical values to be discussing whether a case I'm handling is easy or tough. We handle cases as and when we are presented with evidence, and based on the information and evidence that we gather, we advise our clients. As it stands now, we don't have any documents, or we don't have any piece of evidence that the prosecution would want to rely on. There would come a stage where the court would order for whatever documents or whatever piece of evidence the prosecution wants to rely on, they would have to serve on us. When that is done, we'll be able to be reliably informed as to how the case would go. But as it stands now, once we've cleared not guilty to the charges that have been leveled against our client, of course, the audience or the responsibility is on the prosecution to prove beyond reasonable doubt, not just any fanciful doubt, but then beyond reasonable doubt that indeed the allegations against our client are what they are, or they are what he is accused of committing. So I can't really tell you that it's an easy case, or it's an open and shut case, or it's a difficult case. As it stands now, I can only tell you that we have denied all the allegations, and we have put the burden at the doorstep of the prosecution. So it's up to them to carry out their mandate as is required by law for them to do as they are supposed to.
Okay, so that's one of the lawyers of dancehall musician Shatta Wale. In fact, he and his colleagues represented Dipoti, Ganji, Medical, and then Nana Dope. So in case you have not seen what happened in court, I mean, not the courtroom, but, you know, around the courtyard, let's see what happened. We'll be back to discuss the issue proper.
Country ball.
So after Shatta Wale, Ganji, Dipoti, and Nana Dope, alongside Medical, were granted bail, all of them moved to the seaside to have what we are told is a spiritual bath. They had to cleanse themselves because they've been to, you know, prison, and, you know, I mean, they needed to do some cleansing. That's their belief. I don't know whether Mystic Mike knows a history of this thing.
Yeah. So ritual bath after being jailed or being caged is important for both the soul and also for the physical. You know, in the cell, there's a lot of congestion.
Okay.
So the skin, a lot of prisoners have skin diseases. So the sea has properties that cleanses the body. So that's the first step. And then when you go home, you can, you know, use other products for your skin.
Oh, but so it's not spiritual. It's rather physical.
It's a ritual bath. It's a ritual bath to cleanse your soul.
Okay.
Because you've been denied freedom, liberty. You know, liberty is key, especially for us blacks, our ancestors who were caged and denied all that. So a ritual bath after being put in a cell is very crucial. Among various ethnic groupings, the Ewe do it, the Gans do it, the Asante do it. So I'm not surprised they had to do it. Cleanse themselves spiritually and then physically. because you know they are away from the comfort of their beds. They've gone to sleep in very torrid conditions. So I'm not surprised about it at all.
I don't know whether you also observed this, but it seemed to be, you know, the way people reacted to Medical's arrest. It's not the same as Shatawale.
It's the clout. Medical does not have the same clout as Shatawale. Shatawale is the senior. He's been in the system. People have known him as Bandana. During the hip life days, came back and said dancehall, reggae is what he's doing now. Medical is relatively new. He doesn't have the same following. He doesn't have the same fan base. He doesn't have the same history as Shatawale. Wale has spent years at Kolegono, has spent some time at Nima, has spent other places. I've forgotten. He was at another place. I've forgotten the place. So he has bases in different places, and that's what makes him unique. But to whom much is given, much is expected. You know, for one who has so much, he's always let himself down in certain regards, and I will touch on that going forward.
Nana, so. I mean, our celebrities have been released, but the question is this going to have any effect, any impact on what some say it's industry culture? I don't know whether that's the right word, but the conversation is that it's going to tame people, it's going to tame celebrities. Is that what you envisage?
Right, you know, when you have a system where a celebrity is announced as there's a word that BBC used for him. What's the word?
Fugitive.
Quickly, brands would have quickly released press to say, we you know, that didn't happen. That should tell you that nothing's going to happen to anybody.
It's not a sex tape.
It's not. Sex tape,
they say.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
See, you know, Adam once, I could be wrong, but I think I heard Adam or somebody say that. There's a lot of things, a lot of artists or celebrities have a lot of guns. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Adam.
Adam, right?
Yes. Because at the time we were talking about security at events, and he said that, you know, because of what we don't know what fans may do. That was when there was a conversation about the fandom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And either it was Stonebwoy had gone for an event and someone nearly stabbed him. That was what brought about the conversation. Yeah.
I'm saying that because I'm looking at the case of Medical first. Yes, for maybe going forward, all the stars will check if their licensing is correct. You know, I know that I could be wrong again, but I know that in Ghana we don't license the what's it called?
We do. Small arms.
The pistol. No, we don't. It's
really?
only the shotguns that we do.
You can get a pistol just like that?
Really?
No, you can't actually. It's not licensed.
It's not licensed?
It's not.
Okay.
Check with any security person. I know that for shotguns, because I know that a lot of people that I have seen who they have license on the shotguns. I haven't seen with the pistol. If they do, then everybody will begin to check and make sure that they have the right one. Because you could have the license, but it could not be the right one. So now they will check that. Two, how they use it and how they even show it off. I mean, somebody made a silly comment that if the issue of VGMA with Stone had happened under this IGP, so maybe that's what they will do. They will check. They'll make sure that when they are going to show it, they show it at the right places and have the right papers to back it in case of anything that happens. Apart from that, career-wise, they are fine. It happens. You know, a discount more, but what they lose is endorsement deals and you know, corporate deals and all that. But for music-wise, career-wise, I think that everybody will be fine. For Shatta, like you said, this is in two parts for Shatta. He can choose to go. I have always told you guys that I'm a gangster. You guys don't believe me, but now you've seen it. Or he can choose to go that I've told you guys I'm from the ghettos. Nothing scares me. If he goes the first way, it means that he will not be as loud as he used to be, because he will then have cemented all his talk that I'm a gangster. Hey, I'll come for if you do, I'll do that. Now because he has gone through the system, he's going through it. He's out. What am I saying? His first case at the VGM didn't take him to. I think it didn't take him to jail or something like that. It was like they went for hearing back and forth, and then they were giving the bail. So the first one makes him calm, like, okay, I don't need to prove to anybody anything anymore. Now I have made it clear. Everybody knows me, I'm the gangster. I know the joke. And in dancehall, if you know the story of the dancehall conversation, they take these things like, you know, it's
badge of honor.
Yes. what must I say? Because they're all waiting for Vibes to be out. And the day Vibes Cartel leaves prison, you see the community, how they be excited and how they jubilate. So for them it's good. But the other one, if he goes the other route, I don't think the council's advice to him will work. If he goes the other one, which is, I've told you I'm from Nima, I'm from Zongo, right now, if he goes that route, we are in trouble, because anybody that goes after him will come for you physical. Because he will say he's not afraid of the system anymore. Because he knows that he's been there, he's going to it, he's been putting the handcuffs, he's go through the process. So if he goes on that route, his fans cry will not spare you. They will come for you because their leader has gone through the mill, and you know. So maybe holding a council advice, you know, of to stay away from public talking about whatever happened, blah blah, until maybe the case is over, might be a bit difficult. But I'm hoping so. We'll call the first round. I said it here last week. Shatta does not need anybody, whether in media, whether in politics, to validate him. He has over 5 million following across Ghana alone. 5 million. If he goes outside Ghana, it's a few artists who travels outside Ghana to UK, and you can check in America, who gets fans on the street. It's not a heading like the same thing. So he doesn't need anybody to validate him. He doesn't need it at all. So I mean, for a career wise, he's fine. Nothing's going to happen to him.
Mistake.
Medical has to bring a hit. He needs a hit tune after this. He needs a body of work to reassure or re-ingrain himself in the minds and in the hearts of the people. For Wale, he's been there, he's done it. Although some critics reckon that his Gift of God album, he isn't so confident about the album. Some reckon that, and that's why the release has taken so long, because it was supposed to have come at a time, it didn't come, and people felt that he was so unsure of the system, of the reception that it will receive. And so, having more hits will not hurt him. It will only help to propel him. If he's unable to land any hits anymore, it wouldn't be as if it will really cripple him. But then, some feel his best years are behind him. Some feel his best years are behind, especially the 2016 year when he released hits upon hits upon hits. Some feel he cannot tap into that source again. We can only wait and see what he's able to do, and then the Gift of God album, when it comes finally, whether it still has those bangers that would, recreate his dominance. But I reckon that he has respect among his peers. The entertainers respect him across board. He's someone who is, respected and revered. And I hope that this Ankerful stint would give him the lessons that he has to pick. Because even his hardcore followers sometimes cringe at some of his utterances, it's needless. It serves no purpose. So why do you do it? Why do you do it? This shootout incident, was it a Sunday evening or that evening that the news started filtering in? People were really, those who had their high blood pressure problems, had their BP, people were calling. And City FM's Samens, the owner of City FM, said they called police station upon police station. They called, do you have,
for verification.
Has this happened in hospitals? They called hospitals. We have this news, we can't publish. We want to confirm, do you have this? Police station, we say no. Hospital, we say no. Police station, we say no. Samens, City FM, we're calling. Why do you put people through this? For what?
Nana, so Mr. Mike mentioned that Medical should release a song, right?
He has to have some hits.
Should there be a collaboration? Shatta Medical.
I think it's up to them. But I think, yes, I agree. Medical needs to put a song out to celebrate victory. What he's doing on socials, to me, is needless. Saying there's no whatever, honest. That is anyone here. You are not the first person to go through this ordeal as a celebrity. Elsewhere, your colleagues go through it. When they come, they're able to drop a song because people want to hear what you have to say. If you put it in music, it's able to go. Now, with regards to Wale, I think people who say that Shatta Wale's best years are behind him, they don't know Wale. I think they are just they are fans who wish they will see him do more. They don't hate him, but they also don't know him well. Let me give you an example. Shatta gets hits out of unnecessary attention and pain. Count his time with Samini. Count the number of songs he released. That's why when he was looking for, I was telling Samini for like some xylophone down. When he told Samini that let's beef again, Samini shouldn't have come because he was looking for a hit. Out of anger and confusion, Satawale gets a hit. Kakai and all those ones. He said down, so he likes war songs. So most of the time, war songs are able to break into the system and become a hit song. What am I saying? And with regards to the GOG album, listen, if Shatta decides to delay the album 20 years, it's none of anybody's business. You are still waiting for a certain artist called Kendrick Lamar to give an album after 4 or 5 years. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And the base conversation of, oh, album, we need confidence to F bang.
Oh.
No, like on a real. Like I think people, when we do that, it puts unnecessary pressure on the artist. Because you are able to respect a foreign artist's pace of doing music, but you cannot respect your fellow Ghanaian artist's pace of doing music. Now, I say, you're releasing the keke. What am I saying? Oh, yeah, man. You might be brave, Sisi and Sana, why then? Oh, then you know. Anna, he said he was going to give us 4 songs, some chaff.
Yeah.
The little preview he gave us, they were all beautiful songs. You get it?
Yeah.
Out of all these chaos things, he would rather get a hit. He would take all this confusion and jail and whatever, and drop a song and boom, it will be number one. So I feel like we should give artists time, give artists pressure. No wonder Sarkodie once upon said that the No Pressure album is to take the pressure off him. Fans need more unnecessary pressure. They say a lot of things that are not necessary. Men are Miami album. When I open the meeting, they say train. They ready and also say
that's what we are trying.
Major who has power?
Almost a mini view of power, but I thought that's why I made debate my door so far.
When I open listen, we want good music.
Yeah, I mean I get your point. I get your point.
That travels, that lasts the test of time. We need to give this artist.
But I think the question is to what extent can you hold us in anticipation? So we are waiting.
I reckon the Beyonce experience has also kind of reoriented him. Before this, he could have released and say, I don't give a damn. But now, because of the leverage he's gotten with the Beyonce factor, now he wants products that would justify, even if foreign executives were to take a look in, they were like, okay, this makes sense, this guy's good. Hitherto, when there wasn't that factor, your eyes will not be in New York, your mind will not be over there. But now, with what the competitors are also doing, what the Nigerians are doing, you are seeing them do their thing, the O2 arenas, the billboards in foreign and all that. So, as one of our leading acts, I reckon these are the considerations going into the album release. And if it is so, then it is for the better. Yeah.
Nana, you agree?
The guy just announced UK listening party, and this whole incident happened.
Yeah.
That's why last week I said that he could have just gone live, laugh, and gone off the live, and then go about your business, because you are on the road to releasing an album. That can change. You see, you have kids. That's an investment for their future. That could change everything. What am I saying? We are Akwakobano. If borders, or let's say these embassies want to be hard,
you can't even travel.
Yes,
you
because
travel,
you have a case.
You have a case.
And they put a certain tag. And you see, so I understand him when he says some of the things he does are needless. But in terms of the music, nah, it has nothing to do with it. Listen, Okose jail 30 years. Vice Cartel was jail, so he does features.
Yeah.
So it's not about the music, it's about the career. He should just put everything in perspective. I have an album coming, I have kids, I have that, I'm growing, I have to build a better legacy, and then I can work out. What am I saying? All these hula baloo and all, thinking about himself first and not about the people and about the general picture and everything he does. Listen, there's a ripple effect to everything. Like, the last album, was it Rain?
Is it Rain?
Yeah. Like
okay, yeah, it was album, after the storm and rain.
The job employment, the employment is created. You won't believe it. people were selling teas,
the merchandise.
People were selling stuff, people were creating. So when I sell, the person, I'll go and pick from somebody who was also going to pick from somebody. So these artists, they need to know their value, Charlie.
All right, so that's Nani already doing his with oneplayafrica.com. Mystic Mike, aka Black Pepper, is with blackpepper.com. I'll come for their final words, but let me remind you that the show is sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Cheesy Pizza has all you want from juicy smoothies, jollof, fried rice, spag, and meatballs. We have great deals for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you the McCheesy combo every Monday and Thursday. With only 49 cedis, you get one small pizza, fries, and chicken, one cola drink at all branches. Tuesdays are Super Tuesdays at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call 02641333997 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. Let me take your final remarks, Mystic.
I found it interesting that Mickey Osebeko, Master Richard, concurred with TT, some identify that they really did not make money from their village communications program taxi driver. It goes to show that distribution, syndication is important. That's what has changed since then, and now that our artists are making some good money, are able to fly around the world and all that. If one of our top viewing programs could not, sort out the actors in that production, and that was the fame that they enjoyed, that should tell you that how far we've come. And you should not be surprised that some of our elderly actors are ailing this time. We should not think they are failures in life. The system wrestled against them, even though some might have also not been prudent. But I'll urge that we treat them with some respect and not contempt for not managing their lives well, because the system itself did not pay well.
Okay. Nana?
I had a nice closing remarks, but I'm not kind.
Nama nice closing remarks. Don't mind.
So I abanted.
Don't mind.
My closing remarks. You see, Kuma,
Nana, see my catch some Jaika.
See, you don't see the bigger picture. Let me show you something.
It's bigger picture.
The guy who works at the agency has gone to school. He was trained by a teacher who was also taught by another teacher. So know that I don't have to do certain things to an actor or an actress. But what they are, the manager of the agency that filmed that series knows, well, maybe I'm not more exposure. When him say, I was saying a certain system in place to pay for even licenses. The budget that went into that production by the company who ever sponsored it, the agency will take the money, right, and say, I said, it goes down to even the guy who comes to sweep the production set. Not thinking about tomorrow and 10 years to come. Today, ask anybody who is filming their budgets for filming, ask them about documentation, ask them about licensing, clearance. You will realize that issues of 10 years ago that we didn't talk about is still happening. Obedi menyo a movie. And I say, cinema. And I miss you cinema for no. Cinema for no go from say, I don't know what telling you. I say, I say, frame me. Frame me, I say,
all right, Nana, it's okay. Let's put that on hold. I'm sure we'll have that discussion some other time. So that's Nana Radio is with oneplayafrica.com. You heard Mystic Mike, aka Black Pepper, is with blackpepper.com. So don't go away. We are taking a break. When we return, we'll have a conversation with filmmaker Edinati. Welcome back. It's Bloggers Forum on GhanaWeb TV. Just gone by was a discussion on Shatta Wale and medical. Up next is Edinati. Edinati is a movie producer, is a film director, and someone I met when I was in the University of Ghana. Eddie, thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Have you been involved in a police case before, court case?
No.
Okay. your colleagues are facing the law for various alleged offenses. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's very unfortunate that it has gone down this lane. Of course, my expectation wasn't the fact that somebody like Shatta Wale was going to be arrested and put into cells. But I think the law has to take its course. So we leave it to the lawmakers and protectors of the law. Yeah.
Right. You have 2 movies up for premiere.
Yep.
What are the movies?
I have Kofi Abebrese and then Okada movie.
Okay. Yeah. When is this premiering?
Well, we're premiering both movies at the Snap Cinema Friday 29th. And then it's just 30 Ghana cedis for the 2 films. This has never been done before. It's first in history, so we must emphasize on that. But yes, we're premiering 2 movies, and these 2 movies were done by the Ian Academy. People have trained over a period of 2 months, and now they've been able to put a film out there, and we're showing it to the public. So we're inviting everybody to come support us.
Why did you decide to premiere 2 movies on a night?
Well, I think that the movie industry has gone down, and then we need to revive it. And by reviving it, we need to give them content that they will be more enthused with, they'll be happy with. And I think for Ian Academy, the lane we're going, everybody who attends Ian Academy needs to be part of a project. So maybe one movie may not be able to contain almost everybody. Yes, so we do 2 movies where we have almost all of them being part of both movies, and we just show it to the public.
Okay, so what's the story about Kofi and Abebrese?
No, Kofi Abebrese.
Kofi Abebrese.
Yeah, the Kofi Abebrese, it's about a young man who traveled to Europe for greener pastures, and before he left, he had impregnated a woman, and now he's back to looking for his son. Yeah, and then Okada is about a young guy who his boss bought him Okada to work with it. He got some small money, and then he went to the village to show to show himself that
I'm arrived.
You know, and that is a comedy. Yeah,
I see. Any known faces, or this has got to do with?
These are basically from the academy, so there are no known faces. The only known face in it is Uma Krupp.
The fair guy.
The fair guy, the hard guy. It's Uma Krupp. And then for Kofi Abebrese, Pina Befi, she was the Miss Ghana 2013. Yes, so these are the only known faces that are part of it. But trust me, they did an amazing job, and it's a great movie.
Why shouldn't I miss it?
Because you haven't laughed so hard in the whole of the week. This is the time for you to laugh, because it's all about comedy, and it's going to be night of glitz and glamour. We're doing the red carpet. It's just going to be a night of celebration and celebrating with these young people who have graduated from Ian Academy, and they've been able to produce something. It's a good cause, because you need to be part of the film industry. You need to be part of bringing back the love and passion we have for the film industry. So yeah, just come and have fun.
I see. Where is the venue, the time?
It's at the Snap Cinema. Snap Cinema is at Accra Metropolitan Assembly in Accra, just by Kimbu. And the time is 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and 10 p.m.
Is this movie what kept you off the scene? Because it looks like you were missing for a while.
No, this is not a movie that kept me off the scene. Of course, a lot of people have been off the scene for a while, not necessarily because of their doing, but because of the way the industry has become. And thanks be to God, I've brought back Ian Academy, where I'm training young people, and then we're producing movies. So I wasn't gone for too long. I'm back, and we're doing great things.
Just before we go, this question: I know you've been in the industry for long, right?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
I started 2007.
Okay.
It's been over 14 years.
14 years. Yeah. Okay. Where do you think we are falling short that we need to do to improve the industry?
Where we have fallen short, which is so disturbing, is the fact that we don't have enough cinemas and we don't have a distribution platforms. So producers make movies and there's nowhere to put it. Producers make movies and they do promotion for a month and they're just showing it at Silverbird Cinema, Accra. Imagine we have all cinemas at various 16 regions and you're premiering your movie. It goes across.
Because right now, if we finish with this premiere and Tamale people want to watch, how do I get them to watch? So I think the best thing for the Ghana movie industry right now is the fact that we need more cinemas, more venues for watching films, and then distribution platform like digital platforms, like something like Netflix. You know, things like that, so that we can showcase our movies, because a lot of people are doing movies but audience don't get to watch if it's not premium, because there are no other platforms to put it. So for Ghana movie industry, my suggestion is that we need more cinemas, more distribution platforms.
There have been some observation that because of the way you know, some of the movies are substandard, and so they are not able to make it to some of these platforms, like you mentioned, Netflix. Do you reckon?
That is very true, because Netflix has a requirement, and the requirement deals with standard of quality. The quality has to be very good. You know, such budget for films like that is very expensive, and because the industry is not as it used to be, most people are maybe scared to put in that kind of money to make sure. But of course, we're trying. There has been a few movies from Ghana that has made it to Netflix, and I do believe that we keep pushing. But you're true with what you said. Most of the times is the quality of movies that are not able to meet up the standard.
All right, Eddie, thank you very much for coming. I'm sure we'll be there to support you. Wish you the very best. So that's how we draw down the curtain for this episode of Bloggers Forum. But before we go, let me remind you that the voting for the GhanaWeb Excellence Awards is still ongoing. Get onto our website, www.ghanaweb.com, and when you open a story, you see a banner beneath the story. You see voting is on now. Click to vote, and when you click, it will take you to a website where you can vote for your favorite nominee. Alternatively, pick your phone and dial *713 hash. Sorry, *713 *81 hash. *713 *81 hash. You enter the nominee code, select the vote bundle, and then you make payment. That's how you vote for your nominee in the GhanaWeb Excellence Awards. A reminder that the GhanaWeb Road Safety Campaign is still ongoing. We want to fight road accidents, and so that's what we are doing as part of our 22nd anniversary. GhanaWeb is 22 years. Help us fight road accidents. If you see anything that poses as a threat or a danger to human life and property, film them. You can send it to us via email, newswires@ghanaweb.com, newswires@ghanaweb.com. Alternatively, tag us. We are active on all social media platforms. The handle is @the GhanaWeb, @the GhanaWeb. Thank you for watching this episode of Bloggers Forum. We'll be back same time next week with yet another riveting discussion. I am Benefo Boabin Abrantepa.